We're back for our daily MLB Best Bets here on the channel. Today is Thursday, April 3rd, and we've got 5 games today across the MLB, and we're going to have best bets for most of the games. We're actually staying away from Diamondbacks Yankees. There's nothing I like in that game. The Yankees, I believe, are slight favorites, and I got nothing for you on that game. So we're going to do 3 money lines today because the Nationals aren't playing, and don't get me started on that team. I'll give you the full rundown tomorrow before we prepare to get swept by the Diamondbacks and Dodgers in back-to-back series. By the way, Blue Jays jersey, I guess, incoming. Bo Bichette, I guess. Great. So excited. Or maybe I'll get a Easton Lucas jersey because he shut us down. I'm so disappointed. Anyways, so 3 money lines, 1 NRFI or NRFI, and then 1 player prop. We are now, 6-1 with NRFIs to start the season. We are completely on fire. Let's continue that today, and let's continue the overall success, or let's move on to some more success today. Anyways, before we get into the predictions, folks, the best bets, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for some more daily MLB best bets here on the channel. Later today, we'll have our NBA predictions and our college basketball best bets, so make sure to go check those out. And also, on Greedo Plays MMA, we've got our UFC Fight Night Emmett versus Murphy predictions, along with our PFL 1 Jackson versus Koreshkov predictions. This PFL card is tonight on ESPN2, so make sure to check that out. That is linked in the description down below. And subscribe to Greedo Plays MMA while you're at it as well. We're trying to hit 500 subscribers. We're very close over there on Greedo Plays MMA. Okay, on the first of our 5 games today, and we start things off with an even money line game right now as of 11 o'clock on late Wednesday night. Red Sox, Orioles. Give me the Orioles. Okay, I know the graphic doesn't give away anything. I'm going O's money line here. It feels like the obvious play to me, I'm going to be honest. Yesterday, we did not pick a winner in yesterday's Red Sox-Orioles game, but we had the NRFI, and we hit thanks to Zach Eflin and Garrett Crochet both coming through. I mean, it was an easy one. It was 6 up, 6 down in total. That feels like Boston's game in the series. You know, the Red Sox are 2-4 this season. They won on opening day in Texas against the Rangers, and they won yesterday against the Orioles. I think that was the only game they're going to get in this series before the Red Sox return home for a 3-game set against the Cardinals over the weekend. But they're not going to get the final game in this series, right? That was the game the Red Sox were going to win because Garrett Crochet was on the mound. He completely shut down the Orioles offense. 0 runs scored the entire game for Baltimore. They just got off to a cold start. The Red Sox got on the board in the second inning, and they never gave up that lead. I mean, Baltimore had 4 hits all day, but Garrett Crochet went 8 innings, and then Aroldis Chapman comes in for the 9th, and the game's over. So I'm really not that discouraged by that performance of the Baltimore Orioles. Yeah, it sucks getting, shut out, but that's just what's going to happen when you take on an elite pitcher like Garrett Crochet. Hell, Rafi Devers, finally broke out of the slump, leaving Dylan Cruz to be the only player in Major League Baseball without a hit right now. Out of every starter in the majors, Dylan Cruz is the last one. He hit 2 balls hard yesterday, so I guess I'm not concerned. Anyways, the Red Sox look really good yesterday, but the thing is, again, only 3 runs scored. Devers came through. Trevor Story homered in the first run. Rafaela with a single RBI in the 5th as well. But again, that win was off the back of Garrett Crochet. There is no Garrett Crochet, obviously, in this game. It's Tanner Houck. I mean, I think it's a much easier matchup for Baltimore. Tanner with a 6.35 ERA so far this year with his 1 start in Texas gave up 4 runs in 5 2/3. It's a much more favorable matchup, obviously, for Baltimore. They do send the dinosaur Charlie Morton out to the mound. He's 41 years of age. His first start against Toronto, he got roughed up. I understand. He has to be better in this spot, I truly believe. Not like the Red Sox bats wow me. Right? I mean, sure, Trevor Story hit a home run yesterday. He went 3 for 4. Devers finally got on the board. I'm still not sold on this lineup. I don't think they're all that great. I still don't think they're top 2 in the American League East. If that's a hot take, I don't know. I still think Baltimore and the Yankees are better. Jarren Duran went 0 for 5 leading off yesterday. I mean, maybe if he had a tennis racket, he'd be a little bit better. He's still batting .231 in the season. Devers, 2 hits yesterday. Bregman in the 3 spot, batting .230 this year. I'm not sold. Again, you have days as teams, right? Where if your ace is on the mound, a guy that they gave all that money to in Garrett Crochet, you just have a feeling, okay, we need to play, in the Red Sox case, 3 runs, and we're in a great position to win the baseball game because our ace is on the mound in Garrett Crochet. It's completely different now when Crochet's off, and really any game for the Red Sox when Crochet is not pitching, the game changes. He's that good. Crochet is that elite of a pitcher, but you'd go from him to, again, Tanner Houck, who's not horrible, but not on that same level at all. this is a game Baltimore should be able to get out and going early with. Not a great day for them at the plate. Westberg with one hit, Mountcastle with one, Laureano with one, and then Ramon Urias with the hit. I mean, expect Adley Rutschman to get going. Tyler O'Neill with the rare offer. I mean, still batting .444 on the season, but expect Tyler O'Neill to pick up some base knocks. Adley Rutschman, Westberg as well in the leadoff spot. I think the Orioles are going to be completely fine. Cedric Mullins is batting .300 this season. He went 0 for 3, and it's not like they got a bad outing out of Zach Eflin yesterday. I mean, he went 6 innings, only gave up 3 runs. Could have been worse, right? They send Charlie Morton to the mound again. I know he was bad in his first start this year in Toronto. I think the dinosaur has to come through here and just give us a somewhat decent performance to just hang around with the Red Sox tonight and just give the bats a chance. The Orioles have been fine all year long offensively, other than that last game against the Red Sox. For the most part, they had a game where they lost 3-1 to the Jays, but I'd expect the Orioles to be fine. I think that's just a Garrett Crochet game. It is what it is. Great bounce back spot today for the Baltimore Orioles at home. Even money, absolutely love it. Give me the O's at home at -110. Let's go to our second best bet of the day, and this is our play for the Phillies-Rockies game. No value, obviously, with the money line. Not going to go back to our old friend Bryce Harper on the player props, because actually Harper's been kind of cold to start the season, other than opening day, of course, where he homers off the Nationals. But anyways, our best prop today is Taijuan Walker under strikeouts. I'm going back to the roots of the player props, all right? Now, Mackenzie Gore was a strikeout away from hitting yesterday. It sucks. If he didn't hit the second to last batter he saw, maybe he gets the strikeout. But anyways, I think this is great value on Taijuan Walker under strikeouts. It's -115 for under 4.5 Ks. I don't think he gets that. Guys, we look at Taijuan Walker's last 10 starts, let's look at his last 10 starts. He's hit this once in the last 10 starts he's had. He's gone over 4.5 strikeouts in one of his last 10 starts. It was a start in Miami in August of last year. Other than that, he has not hit over 4.5 strikeouts. I get the Rockies aren't very good. I completely understand that. I don't trust in Taijuan Walker at all. I don't think anyone trusts in Taijuan Walker. He's the one guy in this Phillies rotation you look at and go, he's not Luzardo, who they got in the offseason. He's not Aaron Nola. He's obviously not Zach Wheeler. Christopher Sanchez, he's not as good as. It's just, the fifth, we're still throwing Taijuan Walker once every 5 games. I mean, that was the thing last year for the Phillies, too. They're great 4 nights out the week. And then when Taijuan Walker is on the mound, be prepared to score a lot of runs. That's why the Phillies immediately go to a 4-man rotation in the playoffs, which they absolutely should. So, this is actually kind of a winnable game for the Rockies. I wouldn't expect them to do so because I would just expect a lot of runs off on the board tonight. I did actually consider going yes run in the first inning, YRFI on this game because I think someone's going to score really early with Antonio Senzatella on the mound for the Colorado Rockies. But obviously, we don't care about that side of the ball, right? We don't care about Senzatella. We don't care about the Phillies bats. This all comes down to the Rockies lineup and Taijuan Walker. So show some self-respect, Colorado, and don't strike out against Taijuan Walker. You're coming off a day, and this is why I think the number is where it is, but you're coming off a day where Zach Wheeler got 10 strikeouts against this team. That's expected. We know how great Wheeler is. 10 strikeouts, 7 innings. It's a complete game changer against Taijuan Walker to the point where I think, again, this Rockies team is going to only benefit because you see such an elite pitcher like Wheeler your last game. Now you get a guy in Taijuan Walker who is going to give you hittable pitches. He doesn't have the best put-away stuff. Again, last 10 starts, only one game where he's gone over this mark. It was against the Marlins in August of 2024. Taijuan Walker will have starts where, he puts up, 1 strikeout, 2 strikeouts. And in Taijuan Walker's last 5 starts, he hasn't gone more than 3 innings. It's because he's been that bad. That's why I was surprised that Taijuan Walker even got brought back to the Phillies in a starting role. So I'm actually all over this number. I understand it's the Colorado Rockies and you have some big strikeout guys in this team. For as good as Ryan McMahon can be, he will swing and a miss, right? 3 strikeouts yesterday. Toglia with 4 strikeouts yesterday. He's batting .053 this season. I completely understand that. Ezequiel Tovar's a great player, but he's starting near 150 with 2 strikeouts yesterday as well. I understand that. It's a complete difference, though, going from Zach Wheeler to Taijuan Walker. And, I think it'd be a miracle if Taijuan Walker even gets to the 4 strikeouts. Again, last 10 starts, he's gotten 5 strikeouts once in his last 10 starts, okay? The next highest number is 3. So even if the line was 3.5, he's only hit 3.5 once. I don't know. I get the Rockies are bad, But I mean, I don't think they're that bad, and I think there's a chance they can get Taijuan Walker out of here in 3 innings. Because if you drive up the pitch count against Taijuan Walker, I mean, look at his last couple starts. You know, end of the year last year, went 3 innings against the Mets, 8 earned runs off of him and 6 hits. You know, Taijuan Walker's going to walk you around the bases. He's going to give up home runs. He doesn't have put-away stuff. I think this is a great bet here. Colorado Rockies bats just need to come through for us. We're going to go under Taijuan Walker's strikeouts, minus 115 on under 4.5. Feels like a really good bet, so give me Taijuan Walker's under. We go on to our next game here, and we go to Minneapolis, Minnesota for the Minnesota Twins and the Houston Astros. We're taking the Twins money line here at minus 125. I think I think Minnesota has built up some momentum, and I understand it's the Chicago White Sox they're winning games against, but I like the matchup today. Just because, again, the Astros are not good this season, and at the same time, Joe Ryan's on the mound for Minnesota. Ryan had a pretty solid first start in St. Louis against the Cardinals. He goes 5 innings, gives up 5 hits, but only gives up 1 run. He wasn't the reason they lost that game in St. Louis, as the Twins lost 5-1. They just couldn't score. That's okay. The Twins are coming off back-to-back games where I think they've figured their offense out for the most part, right? I mean, they start the year 0-4, right? I mean, the worst it got for them was on Monday in Chicago. It was 9-0 to the Chicago White Sox. That is horrible. I understand that. But back-to-back games in Chicago to close the series, 8-3 victory against the Sox and a 6-1 victory over the White Sox. So now the Twins sit at 2-4. Let's make it 3 games in a row here with the victory over the Houston Astros. And for the Astros, 3 straight losses in that home series against the San Francisco Giants. Right, their first series, they win it against the New York Mets, winning 2 of 3. The Giants come into town, and the Giants, who have now started 5-1, go into Houston and sweep the Astros. The Astros with 2-1-3 scored runs in those 3 games. So the bats have been ice cold, and the pitching matchup tonight, right? I mean, we talked about Joe Ryan a little bit. I think he's got some solid stuff. Hunter Brown, I don't think is bad at all either, right? Had an okay start against the New York Mets. It was the one game that they did lose to New York. Again, not entirely Hunter Brown's fault, or that's not the reason they lost. But the Astros lineup hasn't been good. It hasn't. I mean, we're still waiting for a lot of these guys to break out. Guys, Jose Altuve is the only guy in this lineup who's batting over 200. I mean, Chas McCormick too. But other than that, I mean, we could read them off. Isaac Paredes batting 150. Yordan Alvarez, we know how good he can be. He's batting 150. Now he went 2 for 4 yesterday to bump up that average. But yeah, Alvarez has not been good yet this year. Christian Walker, got him from the Diamondbacks. First year with the Astros, batting 125. Diaz batting 111. Jeremy Pena batting 105. Brendan Rodgers batting 167 in his first year with the Houston Astros. They lost yesterday with Framber Valdez on the mound. He went 5 innings, gave up 5 runs. Again, Hunter Brown's pitching tonight, but I don't know. I think the Astros are just not good this year. If we're just being honest. Altuve, right, doing his thing. That's what we expect out that guy, buzzer or not, trash can or not. That's what Jose Altuve is going to deliver. I understand. But you look at what the Twins have, and we said this at the beginning of the season. If Minnesota's healthy, they're great. I mean, right, we know what the injuries to Byron Buxton and Carlos Correa over the last couple seasons, but if they're on the field every single day, this is a solid team. And now Correa still is yet to get going. He's batting 095, but he goes 2 for 4 yesterday. Byron Buxton batting 190, but he went 2 for 4 yesterday as well, right? Ty France, you don't always know what you're going to get out of Ty France, but he batted 2 for 4 yesterday. 227 on the season. I mean, I think the Twins are progressively getting better. I think they are in terms of their bats. And I don't know what to say about the Astros right now. They've been ice cold in 3 straight games, right? I mean, they're letting everyone walk over them, whether it be Jordan Hicks, whether it be Logan Webb. I mean, these guys are mowing down this Astros team, and I'd expect Joe Ryan to come in here and pitch a really productive outing, right? I mean, pitches against St. Louis, gives up 5 hits, 1 run in 5 innings. That's fine. I think Joe Ryan's going to have a very productive night today, and I think the Minnesota Twins bats, I think they're progressively getting better. I mean, Matt Wallner in the 1 still batting 118. That's not ideal. Correa is batting 095, but again, these guys have been progressively getting better. Buxton and Correa go 2 for 4 yesterday, and I think those 2 wins over the White Sox in Chicago to close the series were much needed. Hell, this is a team that was 0-4 to start the year, but I think they're finding their rhythm, and I think they are getting progressively better. So I'm going to take the Minnesota Twins here at home, minus 125. They're favorites, and I like the spot as well. In front of the hometown crowd here in Minneapolis. It is their home opener tonight. Gotta think the crowd's gonna be pumping, so I'm gonna take the Minnesota Twins at home to take care of business against the Houston Astros. We go on to our final game of the day because our 2 best bets here, our 2 remaining best bets are both with this game. So you can probably tell the second one. We'll talk about it in a little bit, more specifically the NRFI. But anyways, we have Cincinnati Reds money line on the road against the Milwaukee Brewers. Might be my most ambitious pick of the day, but yeah, I'm going to take the Reds to get this one done. I don't think the Reds can continue to play this poorly. I don't think. Eventually somebody's got to break through, right? Back-to-back games against Texas with 0 runs scored. The Reds are now going on 19 consecutive innings scoreless. I don't think that continues much longer, and they're taking on the Milwaukee Brewers, who have won back-to-back games, but they're taking on Nestor Cortes, who had one of the most abysmal starts to a season that you can ask for out of a pitcher. Against the Yankees, second game of the season, 2 innings pitched, gave up 8 runs, 5 home runs, and 6 hits with 5 walks. Yeah, if there's ever a guy you need to get things going on, it is Nestor Cortes. I know what you're thinking. Well, you have the NRFI later. I will explain that in a bit. I will. And trust me, we'll get to that. But I do think overall, the game is extremely winnable for Cincinnati, right? You get Nestor Cortes on the mound. Nick Lodolo pitching tonight for the Reds. Lodolo had a much better first outing than Nestor Cortes did. Lodolo went 6 innings against the San Francisco Giants, 5 hits in 6 innings, 2 earned runs. That will play. That was a good outing for Nick Lodolo. The Reds lineup, they have been ice cold, and that's why, again, we have the NRFI in a little bit, and especially the way the Brewers bats have been hitting. But you think they got to turn it around eventually, and this is the guy you turn it around against in Nestor Cortes. I'm not trying to talk about Nestor like he's some bum. He's not. Trust me, he's not. But both sides of this equation, the Reds have gone 19 innings in a row scoreless now, and Nestor Cortes had the worst start of his major league career. Something's got to give, and both sides are just trying to figure it out. So over the course of a game, give me Cincinnati, but in the first inning, I will take Nestor. Again, bear with me on that. You look at what the Reds have, everyone's ice cold. I understand, except for Elly De La Cruz. We know how great he is. But I think something's got to give eventually for Cincinnati. I think they have the better pitcher in this game, 100% in Lodolo, at least right now. And I do like their lineup more than Milwaukee. Guys, the Brewers, I know they've won back-to-back against Kansas City. Ever since we started picking against the Milwaukee Brewers, they're 2-0, right? Ever since we picked against them for the first time. But they won in 11 innings yesterday. Bryce Turang with the walk-off bunt. Shout out to, who was on the mound for Kansas City? He was Long, Sam Long, I think it was Sam. First name Sam? Yes, Sam Long, who picks up the baseball after Turang's already, laid down the bunt. The winning run's already scored. Long throws to first to just try to save his whip, but it's okay. Anyways, the Brewers win with the walk-off bunt in 11 innings. I'm still not sold with this lineup, though, man. I'm not. What is there to be sold on right now? Jackson Churrio's, figure it out. But the rest of the lineup, Sal Frelick goes 0 for 4 yesterday. Wilson Contreras goes 0 for 4. He's batting 100 on the year. Right? This team still hasn't figured it out hitting-wise. It took them 11 innings to score 3 runs, but going into extras, it was a 1-1 game, and their only run was the Jackson Chourio home run in the first inning. So I'm still not convinced the Brewers are all that back, and I think it's a completely winnable game for Cincinnati. I understand they're on the road as the Brewers get their 3rd straight. Oh, no. They were in New York to start. But still, I think I'm fine with them on the road, Cincinnati. I think they're able to go in there and find a way to win. Pitching matchup favors us. And I think something's got to give in terms of the bats being against Nestor Cortes. So give me Elly De La Cruz and the bats for the Reds to propel us to victory. I'm taking the Cincinnati Reds as underdogs here on the road at American Family Field in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So yes, that does mean we have the NRFI for this. Minus 135. One of the least confident NRFIs I've had all year. I'm just going to be honest, right? We're 6-1 on these all year long. The only one that we did not hit was the Tampa Bay Rays and the Colorado Rockies the second time around. We took them on back-to-back days last week. But we're 6-1 on NRFIs so far this season. I think we will go 7-1 today, don't get me wrong. But there was a very limited sample size today, or there was a very limited selection today, right? I didn't want to double up on Red Sox, Orioles, just didn't feel like the right move. I'm not taking a Yankee Stadium game with their NRFI. I'm just going to be honest. And then Twins, Houston, I'm going to stay away. So this is the game we got. And obviously, if I'd be more inclined to bet yes for a first run or run in the first inning for the Phillies Rockies game. So this is the best we get today. And I think it does make sense, okay? I think Cincinnati will beat Milwaukee today. But at the same time, they've gone 19 innings in a row without a run. We're just asking for one more. And when we look at this too, the better pitcher in this equation is Nick Lodolo, and we're going to get to him in a minute. But you look at what the Reds are going to be offering, 1, 2, 3. I assume I assume Steer is going to be batting a little bit higher because it's a lefty on the mound instead of Friedel. But even if it is Friedel, McClain, Ellie De La Cruz, I'm not scared of Friedel. McClain is good, but he strikes out a lot. Nestor's probably going to be able to get him. The only iffy matchup is Ellie, but Ellie's a guy who bats better from the left side of the plate than the right side of the plate. With Nestor being a lefty, it's a matchup that ultimately favors the pitcher. Again, over the course of the game, I do think that the Reds will get to Nestor. But when you got a struggling offense and a struggling pitcher, I am going to take the struggling pitcher because it's much harder to hit a baseball and get going that way than it is to throw strikes and to find your stuff. So I am going to lean Nestor in that situation. Now, when we look at the Brewers, this is the side I feel better about. I think, again, if Nestor's able to go 1, 2, 3 in the top of the first, or at least get out the inning, I feel pretty good about this because we go in the bottom half of the inning. Okay, Milwaukee's hitting. I know they homered in the first inning yesterday with Jackson Chourio. What are the odds Chourio does that again? Not that likely, okay? We're going to get Bryce Turang in the 1. All right, that's great. I think we'll be fine with Lodolo. And then Christian Yelich in the 3. Left on left. Feel fine about that. Yelich has been ice cold to start the year. He's batting 118. Do we think he figures it out in the first at bat tomorrow or today on a lefty-lefty situation? Probably not. So I think the NRFI is fine. Again, not my favorite pick of the year, but it's the best one we have today, so I am going to present it to you. But minus 135, it's the best one we can find today, and I don't think it's all that horrible. It's just there have been better ones this season, obviously, because we are 6-1 with these this year. But I think we can get it. Give me NRFI with the Reds and the Brewers, Nick Lodolo, Nestor Cortez, find a way to get it 6 outs, and again, propel us to 7-1 on the season with NRFIs and NRFIs. So, folks, thank y'all for watching our 5 best bets for the MLB here on April 3rd. If you have not yet, though, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy the video, and make sure to comment if you do disagree with any of the picks. We'll be back later today for our NBA and college basketball best bets, and tomorrow for a loaded full day of MLB action for Friday, April 4th. So, folks, thank y'all for watching. Make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy the video. Make sure to comment if you do disagree with any of the picks. Folks, thank y'all for watching, and Mamba forever.